Hello, everybody. Hope you're all having a great day today. Yes. It is finally, we got our first victory Monday of the season. My God, do we have a lot to talk about. So, before I get started, hope you're all had a great weekend, safe weekend. For those of you who attended Jake's watch party and near Times Square on Sunday, I hope you guys enjoyed, had a great time. You guys didn't have too much to drink. Hope you guys are in good shape and in good health. And anyway, let's talk about it. Let's talk about the game now. So, Jets won 24-17 over the Titans, who seemingly have a very good defense to start off the year. And I will say this: we have an offensive line now. Obviously, they need to be more consistent in terms of run blocking. But in terms of pass protection, they have been incredible. They haven't really given up a whole lot of sacks. They've given up only 3 sacks in the first 2 games of the season, which is 1.5 sacks per game, which is impressive. We somehow on defense we somehow have 7 sacks in 2 games. We got to Brock Purdy somehow 3 times on Monday night, but we got to Will Levis 4 times yesterday. 3 of those sacks were courtesy of Will McDonald, who I felt was going to be a breakout player this season. So obviously the first half was kind of ugly, was kind of almost cringe, was in a lot of ways cringeworthy. In the first half, but I loved our touchdown drive when Aaron Rodgers faked going to prison and went to Brendan Allen, who looks like a man amongst boys, for his first career NFL touchdown via the receiving aspect of the game. And then, of course, and when we got the ball to start the second half, we drove right down the field, and Aaron Rodgers threw a 26-yard laser to Brees Hall on a go route while he was being guarded by a linebacker for a touchdown. Then, of course, Irv Charles, who's been a special teams ace so far his entire career with the Jets, blocked the punt, which, of course, the Jets would later kick a field goal. Then, of course, the Titans score a touchdown via the pass from Will Levis to Calvin Ridley, who made an incredible catch. I still don't know how he even caught that, but hey, it is what it is. But then outside of that, the Jet defense pretty much held in the second half the Titans' offense in check. I mean, this is that to me was important. The Jet defense, even though they lost Jermaine Johnson for the rest of the season, they still got their shit together in the second half. Even though it wasn't a perfect game by the defense clamped down in the second half. Um, um, our running game, I felt, got better as the game went on. Brees Hall had 114 scrimmage yards, 62 yards rushing, 52 yards receiving, and a touchdown. But speaking of Brendan, he made a difference on offense yesterday. I mean, when he got the ball, he made magic happen. I mean, when he scored the go-ahead touchdown, he ran right. I mean, obviously, while he can run through people, he can run by people, and he scored his first career rushing touchdown from, I believe, 20-plus yards. I mean, he finished the game with 56 scrimmage yards, 33 rushes on 7 carries and a touchdown, 2 catches for 23 yards and a touchdown. I mean, the guy's going to be a good football player for many years to come, in my opinion. If he wasn't on the Jets, he'd probably be a starter on other teams, which is not an insult to Brandon Allen. It's just that who's the star running back on the Jets? Brees Hall, right? So obviously the Jets look like they have a really solid running back tandem. Hopefully, they have a pretty big game and impact on the upcoming Thursday night game versus the Patriots. Oh, Brandon Eccles made an incredible interception. He literally snagged the ball away from Tremont Burke from from Burks. What the hell is his name? I know his last name is Burks, but Traylon Burks. Okay, there we go. He literally made an incredible interception, one-handed interception, while covering Traylon Burks, who's a talented receiver for the Titans. Very talented receiver, in my opinion. Hold on one second. Hello? 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 Anyways, um, that was an incredible pick, and Will McDonald somewhat stripping Will Levis of the football, which would then be recovered by the Jet defense. That was pretty damn good too. So Will Levis, I think, is a talented quarterback, but he needs to lay low on the turnovers. Plus, considering the fact the Jets got 4 sacks while losing Jermaine Johnson for the rest of the game and for the rest of the season with an Achilles injury on a Bill Callahan coached offensive line unit is pretty damn impressive, if you ask me. Um, Mike Williams made his first catch to Jet, a 19-yard reception from Aaron Rodgers on the 2nd and 16 play. That was incredible. Garrett Wilson made some nice catches. He needs to get more involved. Alan Lazard made some couple of catches so far. He's redeeming himself in the eyes of Jets fans so far this season. Our offensive line looks good. I mean, John Simpson so far looks like a man amongst boys. Joe Tippmann hasn't been too bad in my opinion. Elijah Vera Tucker looks good. Morgan Moses looks good. And Tyron Smith, let's say, what can I say about Tyron Smith? The guy's one of the GOATs. He is the man. He's one of the best left tackles in all of pro football for a reason. He's one of the greatest of all time. He's a future Hall of Famer for a reason. So, amen, brother. Amen. So, yeah, I mean, that has been a pretty damn good game to watch for the most part, especially the second half on both offense and defense. The play calling I felt got better in the second half. The first half, a lot of the play calling I felt was crap, but that's another story for another time. But, Aaron Rodgers, man, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception in his first 2 full games as a Jet. So he's completed at least 60% of his passes for over 300 yards passing. And so far, he has a quarterback rating or a passer rating, whatever you want to call it, of over 92, which is to me pretty damn good. I know some people say Sauce looks bad. I mean, Sauce had a bad game. I'm not going to lie. He did have a bad game, but he wasn't too bad in his first game. In the game against the 49ers, he didn't really allow too many passes his way in the game against the 49ers. But yeah, he did have a bad game yesterday, but I think he'll rebound. I mean, if Sauce does have a bad year, I think we're entitled to say he has a bad year. He's still a great player, just had a bad game. So I wouldn't give up on Sauce just yet. I mean, this is the guy that won Defensive Rookie of the Year his first year, made an All Pro in his first 2 years. And I mean, if he has a bad year, he has a bad year. Shit happens. I mean, things happen. I mean, I understand we expect a lot from Sauce, and Sauce expects a lot from himself, but what it's how you handle adversity. And if Sauce rebounds against the Patriots, then all is forgiven. Okay. I don't know what she's cooking tonight, so I don't know. So now I'm going to leave it up to discuss, open this discussion. I'm going to send the link in the chat. Oh, snap. We back up. What are you talking about? I wouldn't say he's a. Oh, the Mets are playing at what time? They're playing today or tomorrow? Oh, they're playing tonight. Okay. Our running backs are dogs. Oh, hell yeah, Johnny. We got probably one of the best running back duos in the NFL right now. I mean, we got to use them, man. If we don't use them against the Patriots, our chances of winning go down a bit. We got to use our running backs in the running game, in the receiving game. We got some good freaking players, man, on this team. Our offensive line looks very good. They need to improve a bit in the run blocking, but to be more consistent, which I think they've got better throughout the course of the game against the Titans. See, how many rushing yards did they get versus Tennessee? How many rushing yards? You know what? Fuck it. Be calm. Let's be. You're but you. Karen, you're. Passing, motherfucker. Okay, so we basically had. So, based on these stats, let me show you guys the stats real quick. Share screen. New York Jets. We had 265 yards of total offense to 300 for the Titans. We had successfully 164 passing yards to the Titans, 170. We ran the ball for 101 yards to the Titans, 130. We averaged 4.7, which is almost the same amount as the Titans, which is 5 yards per play. We both were 5 for 12 on third down. We had 56 plays to the Titans, 60. We allowed only 2 sacks to the Titans, 4. We had 6 punts to the Titans, 5. And we did not turn the ball. But the good news is we did manage to come out on top in time of possession. We had 30 minutes and 3 seconds to the Titans, 29 minutes and 57 seconds. So, obviously, we need to be more consistent in terms of running the football, which I have no doubt we will, considering the talent we have on the offensive line. I mean, Tyron Smith, he's been great as a Jet. I mean, I don't know why they didn't give him a grade for his week 1 performance versus the 49ers, but he's been phenomenal. I mean, I knew Tyron Smith was going to be great as soon as he came in. He's been phenomenal. He has been phenomenal. You're at work right now?
I am. Let's say you're big time now, telling me to hold on for a second when I pop in the back. I like that. That was a smooth move. How you doing,
Thank
buddy?
you. How you doing, Nick? How's your son doing?
He's all right. His birthday's tomorrow.
Oh, God bless him. Tell him I said happy birthday.
I will. He turns 16 tomorrow.
Oh, 16. I remember when I turned 16. It was a wonderful feeling.
Yeah, I don't. It was so long ago. Actually, I turned 16 1 month after you were born. I turned 46 this year. So
you're 46. Wow. God bless you, man. God
yeah,
bless you, man.
I don't know how, but I made it.
Hey, man. God works in mysterious ways. Don't forget that.
Yes, sir. So how do you feel about the win yesterday?
I feel good. You know, I was very. I mean, we got an offensive line now. If there's one thing I know they need to get better in terms of run blocking, but their pass protection has been incredible.
Yeah, they really have, and that was the
John,
most
people
important
said
part of the
John
upgrade,
Simpson
right?
was a better run blocker than a pass blocker. I gotta say, his pass blocking has been incredible so far this season.
You're right. You know, and that was the main thing is we got to keep Rodgers safe. He's had to move a little bit here and there, but no quarterback in the NFL stands still for an entire game, right?
That's correct. Tyron Smith is a beast, which shouldn't surprise anybody. He's one of the greatest of all time. I don't know why PFF didn't give him a grade for his week 1 performance versus the 49ers. I thought he was great week 1.
Yeah. You know, it's Jets fans seem to throw blanketed feces everywhere. They don't like one thing, they want to shit on everything, right?
Right. That's the weirdness of us Jet fans sometimes. But I tell you this, man, Braylon Allen looks like a dog.
Got to be going up. Everything each week get better. Short week, win the short week, and then the crazy part is we're gonna play 0 games in 9 days when we played 3 games in 11 days. So
That's true, yeah.
enjoy this, win this, be 2-1, and then you get a nice break. You can add to the playbook. You can do some extra things, and then you really start cooking for Denver, Minnesota, and then Buffalo coming in.
I tell you what, man, Sam Darnold looks good. I'm very happy for him. He's 2-0 as a Viking.
Agreed.
And I tell you what, I hope Justin Jefferson only has a quad injury. Hopefully he comes back. Who do the Vikings play next week? Do they play the Packers?
I don't know who they play.
But I'll tell you this though,
let me get back to work.
The 49ers defense, they talked a big game, but they got their ass kicked by Sam Darnold on Sunday.
They did. Good for Sam. I'm happy for him.
Let me
get back to work. I saw that you were on. I just wanted to pop in and say hello. And I got your friend request on Venmo. Does that mean I just have to send you money, or are you going to start sending me money? How's this working?
We'll figure it out.
All right, buddy. Have a good show, man. We'll talk soon.
You too. God bless.
God bless.
But yeah, we got a freaking offensive line. We could sit there and say, man, we got an offensive line. We haven't had a good offensive line since 2015 when Ryan Fitzpatrick or Fitztragic, whatever you want to call him, was our quarterback. It's an incredible feeling. It's an incredible feeling knowing you got a fucking offensive line now. I've been saying this shit for years. I don't care how fucking good of an athlete your quarterback is. I don't care if your quarterback sucks. You need an offensive line. Offensive line and having a good, solid offensive line to me is just as important as having a competent quarterback. It fucking is, because you can't have your quarterback constantly running for his life every fucking play. Hey, Dano, why don't you come in and I pinned the link. Who do the Vikings play next week? Let me look at their schedule. Because they look pretty damn good, man. I know the Lions lost. I know the Packers won. The Bears are 1-1. They played a pretty competitive game. No problem, Dana. I'll stall for you. I tell you, Caleb Williams, I know he threw 2 interceptions, but I thought early on in the game he was playing his ass off. But we'll see what the hell happens, man. I want the young man to succeed. I mean, wow, the Panthers are benching Bryce Young, and they're going to start. I don't think it's going to do much of anything. I mean, I kind of feel bad for Bryce Young. I mean, this dude is just. Let's see. Teams, games, schedule. Oh, fuck. Who did they play? Two and 0 Bill. Okay. Let's see who plays this week. Obviously, the Jets and the Patriots. Obviously. Obviously, we got the Patriots. Giants are at the Browns. That's going to be a tough one. Bears at the Colts. Wow, Sam Darnold versus C.J. Stroud. I'm going to keep an eye on that game. That game looks fun as hell. Saints and the Eagles. Chargers and the Steelers. Hmm. Good. Bryce's booty juice. I mean, look, the kid, with all due respect, I'm not saying Bryce Young is good, but he's on a shit franchise. The Carolina Panthers are a terrible franchise right now, and they don't really have much talent to work with on the offensive line. Do you think the Saints can beat the Eagles? Yeah. I mean, Derek Carr's no scrub. I mean, that was the quarterback Saleh and Douglas originally wanted to get before Woody Johnson. Like, look, Derek Carr's a good guy. He's a good quarterback, but fuck it. We need Aaron Rodgers. And speaking of Derek Carr, he is whooping ass with the Saints, and I'm happy for him. I've always been a Derek Carr fan since when he was with the Raiders. I've always liked Derek Carr. I've always felt he was a good player. I always felt he was a good freaking player. I'm not denying that. I mean, look at C.J. Stroud. He's a great quarterback, and you know, Dave Tepper, I hope I said his name correctly, has so far proven himself to be probably the worst owner in the NFL right now. And obviously, but to be brutally honest, even if they got CJ Stroud, I don't think he would have made that big of a difference on the Panthers because their offensive line is once again god awful. Thank God he's on the Texans, though, because the Texans have a good freaking team. DeMeco Ryans just proven that he could be a good coach like he was a very good football player in his heyday. I think a lot of people forgot that DeMeco Ryans was a damn good football player. I mean, he played most of his career with Houston, but he had some good years in Philadelphia, so he's a very good football player. A very good football player. And I know not all the time very good players become very good coaches, but he's proven to be a rarity. The players love playing for him. They listen to him. They understand where he's coming from. And he's one to hold players accountable. Do you think Bo Nix will get benched before the Jets game? I mean, I don't think Zach Wilson's the third stringer. I think Jarrett Stidham is going to take over if Bo Nix is benched. Hey, Nate, what's up? I'm trying to think. I'm not saying Stidham is good. I mean, no disrespect, Knob. I never said Stidham was good, but he's the second stringer. It's not like, okay, we're going to go to the third stringer right away. I think they're going to most likely go with Stidham if Bo Nix is benched. And you're an Auburn fan? Hey, man. Excuse me. You can disrespect me. I'm not going to take it. I'm not going to disrespect you at all. Period. Hey Dana, what's happening, man? See, you're growing a beard and mustache too.
Yeah, dude. Hell yeah. It's a playoff beard.
Anyway, so Nam Deep just asked me, do you think Bo Nix will get benched before the Jet game? There's a possibility, but I don't think they're going to go straight to Zach Wilson because he's the third stringer. I'm not saying Stidham is good, but he's the second stringer,
I do. It's almost like they got 3 Zach Wilsons over there.
Yeah, speaking of back quarterbacking, I know Caleb Williams played like crap in the second half, but I thought throughout a good portion of this game he was playing his ass off. But the Texans have a good offense. They have a good defense. I mean, Danielle Hunter's a stud. Will Anderson's a stud. Mario Edwards is a solid player. Derek Stingley, while he's not as talented as Sauce, he's a good player. They got, and D'Amico, I said this before you came on. I understand not all good players become good coaches, but D'Amico Ryans has proven to be a rarity where, let's not forget, he was a damn good football player for many years in the NFL.
I saw his whole I'm getting to the age where I can say, wow, I saw a dude's whole career. And D'Amico was that guy, man. Like, he was.
And the team, they love listening to him. They love playing for him. He's willing to hold them accountable. And I got to say this, man. The Texans, I know some fans are going to hate me from saying this, but I know the Chiefs are 2-0. I know the Bills are 2-0. I know the Steelers are 2-0. I think the Texans on paper look like I know they only beat the Bears by 6 points, but to me, I think they're going to be the most difficult team we're going to play against this year.
And honestly, I think that they are the type of team, too, that plays kind of like their opponent does. Like, I think they can play in a shootout. And I think, like last night showed, they can play in a grimy, dirty defensive game, too.
But they got the weapons. I mean, Nico Collins is a stud. Dalton Schultz is a stud. We all know Stephon Diggs is a stud despite him being a prima donna. Tank Dell is a stud. Joe Mixon's a stud. Their offensive line is not too shabby. What did I think of Agent Zero's touchdown run? It was a thing of beauty, baby. It was a thing of beauty. I gave it a 10 out of 10, a badass seal of recommendation. It was badass, man. I mean, I know every single Jets fan that I know of despises the Patriots, but they have a good running back duo, too, in Antonio Gibson and Ramondre Stevenson. If we don't use them, if we don't use Breece Hall and Brandon Allen more in the game against the Patriots, our chances of winning get slimmer. We need to run the ball better. We need to pass. I mean, our passing game is fine. We need to run the ball better. We need to be more consistent in the running game, But what I love about Brandon Allen is that I'm not saying he's exactly like Derrick Henry, but he kind of reminds, based on he runs, like Derrick Henry's got to be, 6'2", 6'3"?
Yeah. 240 or so.
He's 30 years old, okay? He's son of a bitch. Excuse my language. He's 6'2", 6'3". He's 6'3", 247 pounds. How big?
Crazy.
That's a big dude.
Yeah.
How big is Braylon Allen? Breece Hall, Braylon Allen.
Same.
He's only 20 years old. He's 6'1". He's 3 inches shorter he's 2 inches shorter, than Derrick Henry. And he's 235. So he's 12 pounds lighter than Derrick Henry, but he runs like Derrick Henry. Plus, I don't think Derrick Henry, I think he may have probably the most nastiest stiff arm I've ever seen. Remember back in 2020 against the Bills where he sent Josh Norman flying with that stiff arm?
Yes, I did.
That shit was fucking
the only thing about Allen we got to watch, man, and I think a lot of people like to gloss over it, is he had 9 or 10 fumbles in college. So we got to keep an eye on that. But so far, he hasn't shown that at all.
Well, I think we do have some good offensive coaches. Granted, they're not as good as our defensive coaches and our special teams coaches. But who's our running back coach now that Leon Washington left?
Is it Deuce.
Deuce Staley?
No. Tony Deuce? No. Help me out, Chet. It's not Anthony Lynn. I almost said that.
Anthony Lynn was good. I liked Anthony. I didn't think he was a bad head coach with the Chargers either.
No.
But they fired him, so.
Tony Deuce. I wish it was Deuce. Yeah, dude, we almost had Deuce.
Deuce Staley?
Thanks, Nate. Yeah, dude. As you age, it's like you start getting things blended together. Let me ask you this, Charles. I don't want to switch up. We're on the offensive side of the ball, but I do want to ask you a question. And before I forget, if I told you yesterday that DJ Reed would be out and that Sauce Gardner would have the worst performance he's ever had as a Jet, and that Chuck Clark would have like 50 yards and penalties, what is
it, Dano? You froze there. But Leon wasn't a running back coach. You forgot. It was that weird guy. You're right, Dano. Dano, you're frozen. Yeah, I see you, Dano. No, fuck. Son of a bitch. Dano? Try coming in, coming back out. Hello, Oscar. Why don't you call in? Wi-Fi crapped. Wow. That sucked. That sucks. Well, yeah, I mean, all right, let's try this again. So you were saying is, how would I feel? Well, I'm not going to give up on Sauce because...
No, wait. I don't know how much of my question was cut, but DJ, if you knew DJ was out and that Sauce would be the worst performance he's ever had as a Jet and that Chuck Clark would have like 60 yards and penalties, do you think we would have won knowing that ahead of time?
No.
Yeah.
But what I will say is this. Sauce is a resilient player. He's been great most of the time. He's a great football player. He wasn't, I mean, obviously the 49ers mostly ran the football down our throats in week 1 versus the 49ers, but he did very well in terms of defending the pass against the Niners. He really didn't allow too many passes thrown his way against the 49ers, so you can't sit there and say he's been complete shit this year. But look, Calvin Ridley's a great receiver. You know, you got to tip your cap off, and plus you got to tip your cap off to Will Levis. That throw was friggin' insane. I still don't know how Calvin Ridley caught that crap. But what I will say is this. We got a resilient football team. I know they say they love playing for Robert Saleh, but I think they're winning in spite of him.
Dude, and I think they just needed a taste, man. Like, even with the play calling, like, we know how you said you hope that there's more 2 running back looks and stuff. Dude, this coaching staff is so stubborn, and they stuck to the wrong plan and lack of adjustments and stuff. They're so rigid that I think now that they found a formula that should be more working, the odds of them bouncing to something else, like, hopefully they just stay stuck on this new plan. You know what I mean?
Richard Todd, my friend, they played great. They have been great so far the first 2 games of the season. Tyron Smith's one of the GOATs. John Simpson's the stud. Joe Tippmann will get better. What people don't talk about is that Joe Tippmann has definitely stepped up his game in terms of snapping the football, because people were criticizing his ability to snap the football his rookie season last year and during training camp. He finally got his shit together when it came to snapping the football. Elijah Vera Tucker looks great. Hopefully he can stay healthy. And Morgan Moses looks like he never left the Jets. We got a damn good offensive line. Holy shit, the Jets got an offensive line for the first time in like 9 fucking years. Now, my big concern is our pass rush against the Patriots. I think hopefully Eric Watts gets some playing time on Thursday night. Hopefully McGregor gets more playing time because those guys are very talented. Hopefully we get a signing of Leonard Taylor III. I know there's a chance if we do sign Hassan Reddick either today or tomorrow or somehow Wednesday, he's not going to play against the Patriots.
No. Plus Jermaine's out, so we need one of those guys activated. Like who's going to replace Jermaine, you know?
Look, man, we got talented defensive linemen. We're not giving up on them. So we got a great defensive coaching staff. And what I will say is I think we can't just constantly run the football in the first play of the game. First play of offense. We got to throw the football once in a blue moon. And I think we should start. I'm not saying we should gunsling like we should be gunslingers. I'm saying we should, try throwing the football on the first play of offense Thursday night versus the Patriots, because they got lit up like a Christmas tree by Geno Smith. And no disrespect to Geno Smith, he had a hell of a game. He's been pretty damn good as a Seattle Seahawk. But let's be for real. Is Geno Smith really an elite quarterback? No. He's a good quarterback, but he's not an elite quarterback.
Right.
I mean,
let me ask you this. The player that I'm most fed up with right now, and I don't know if it's a hot take or not, but Xavier Gibson, man. I want someone else returning the ball.
He hasn't been too bad.
Dude, he fair caught that one. So like we had
Oh, you mean that fair catch? Yeah, but that was look, shit happens.
Listen, we had them pinned though. Like that was our chance to get a short field, and dude, fair catches it. I'm like, now we're at the 30. We could have been at midfield, damn it. But
yeah, but I would agree with the announcers. I forgave him. I think the Jets scored after that.
Yeah, fair. But would you use him again this week though?
I would tell him, listen, if you see an open lane, fucking run. Run like you got run like the wind. Run like the wind, bullseye. God, I love
run Forrest Gibson.
Forrest, run. we could probably use Forrest Gump right now. Run, Forrest, okay. God, I love that movie.
What are you gonna do for the game, Charles, on Thursday?
I'm gonna watch at home, either on my laptop or my television screen in my room. Man, I'm just. I do somewhat agree with this Richard Tom, but I do think he has his uses. True Grit, right? No, Forrest Gump, not True Grit. Run Like the Wind, Bullseyes from Toy Story, not from True Grit.
True Grit's a great movie, though.
I still gotta watch the 2010 one with Jeff Bridges. I heard that was very good too.
I'm a
huge Jeff Bridges fan.
John Wayne one though, man.
I know I remember my grandfather being a huge John Wayne fan. Even though he was in a lot of movies. Very strong language shows. I suppose it's not a family show. This never really was much of a family show, but
as long as you don't pretend, right?
As long as you don't pretend, exactly. So how was your weekend? Did you go to the watch party? Were you at home too?
Yeah, dude. For me to go, I'd have to drive like 8 hours.
Jesus Christ.
Just, as wide as PA is, it's like, oh, it's just one state over. Dude, that state is wide.
What state do you live in, Dano? I forgot.
I'm near Pittsburgh.
Oh, Pittsburgh's, just the field doesn't look too bad.
You
I
know
know they've
what?
only scored 31 points in 2 games, but they're winning.
And their defense, dude, they don't need more than that. I'm not a Russell Wilson fan, man, so I thought that Fields
You
should have been
never
the guy
was,
all
even when
along.
he was with Seattle.
Maybe his first few years, but that wore me down. I don't know. I like defense, man. The Legion of Boom when they were thriving was cool.
Well,
Although yeah,
what I'm saying was when he was early on in his career, they mostly ran the football, and their offensive line was geared towards run blocking than pass blocking. Their pass
fair.
protection under Russell Wilson was atrocious, and he was like one of the most, if not the most, sacked quarterback in the NFL. I've always liked Russell Wilson, but you know what? I would keep Justin Fields for now. I think Justin Fields. No disrespect to Caleb Williams, I think he was done dirty by the Chicago Bears.
Same.
I know people know Justin Fields sucks. The team he was on wasn't very good. Justin Fields is a talented player. He rushed for over 1,000 yards in 2022. He's got a good arm. He's got some mobility. Now he's on a look. I still think Mike Tomlin's a good coach. The Steelers have a decent good offensive line. They got a good pair of receivers and tight ends. They got a good pair of running backs. Najee Harris and Jalen Warner are a good pair of running backs, and their defense is amazing. You got T.J. Watt. You got Deontay Jackson. You got Minkah Fitzpatrick. You got Patrick Queen. Cameron Hayward. Alex Highsmith. Those boys aren't no joke, and we played them on Sunday Night Football sometime later in the season.
I'll be there.
Hey, listen, man, my friend Colin's a Steelers fan. I know he has done a terrible job watching football, but it's funny. His father, on his father's side, they're Steelers fans, but his mother grew up a Giants fan, which, man, I don't even know how the fuck you could lose a game without giving up a touchdown.
Yeah, you know what? You know who hit all those field goals for Washington, right?
Austin Seibert, yeah.
Yeah, I like that kid.
I like Greg Zuerlein, though, too, and I'm glad he's doing well for the Jets, too.
Fair.
Yeah, but I remember some difference. Like, dude, Greg Zuerlein sucks. Why can't he kick a field goal? He had a bad game against the Giants. Then he's been pretty damn good the last couple of games, and I'm like shaking my fucking head.
Dude, I just wish we would have traded Seibert for like a 7th or something, but instead we traded
It is what it is, man.
Codrington, I think I'd rather have right now. It's like,
It is what it is. Plus, what'd you think of Will McDonald yesterday?
He's looking the real deal, man.
He had 3 sacks all of last year.
Yeah. He also didn't have very many snaps.
Because of injury to Jermaine Johnson.
I think last year he had 15% of our snaps last year. So, like, this year, bro, now that Jermaine's down, he's going to need to be like 60%. I don't know. Can he win consistently, or can he at least hold the edge?
The Patriots, they don't have a bad offensive line, but I don't think they have a great offensive line. I know Jacoby Brissett is not the future. It's going to be Drake May, but we don't know what the hell is going to. I know he's still for the starting quarterback for the Patriots, but there's a player to keep an eye out for in the wing, and that's Hunter Henry. He became the first tight end since Gronkowski had over 100 yards receiving in a game for the Patriots.
They and they don't have like a great stud receiver, but all their guys are like above Jags. Like Jalen Polk, dude, he can beat you deep. Demario Douglas, he's not bad. So our third.
Didn't the Browns draft Seibert in the 3rd round? That's a good question. Austin Seibert.
Maybe. I feel like they did draft a kicker, but I don't know if it was him.
I know they have Dustin Hopkins, the Browns, and I'm only worried about their defense. Look, I knew the Patriots were going to have a good defense. Yeah, he was drafted by the Browns in the 5th round, Richard Todd.
Interesting. Good nugget.
Yeah. He was drafted in the 5th round by the Browns and only played like 2 seasons for them. Look, man, I'm not really. I mean, I am concerned about their defense, but I'm not like super worried because of our offensive line.
Hey, if you can show that pic that I sent you on Discord, that was a pretty nice one about our offensive line. I don't know if you have the ability to show it or not, but
I'll probably share it right now. Hold on 1 second. Share screen.
it caught
Discord.
my eye. See if you can click on it.
The only
Make it, if you click it, maybe it'll pop up bigger.
Ooh, Zach Rosenblatt. I forgot who that guy is. No shit, my bad.
Brees liked that though.
Offensive line only allowed 1 pressure and 1 sack yesterday per PFF. Both credited to Joe Tippmann. Tyron Smith was graded the 3rd best tackle in week 2. Morgan Moses was 12th. Elijah Vera Tucker was the 6th best guard. John Simpson 9th. Joe Tippmann, 2nd best center. Jets have a good offensive line. And who should we think?
Joe Douglas.
Fuck yeah, baby. Fuck yeah.
Clip it, man. Fuck yeah.
I know Joe Douglas doesn't have a great win-loss record. I know he's been getting a lot of flack from some Jet fans, but I knew he would come through for us eventually. It's just, I think his heart is in the right place. I always believe that. I always believe his heart was in the right place because he cares about the team. And I think eventually he was going to give us a good offensive line, and he fucking did. Gave us some good depth. I know a lot of Jet fans wanted Brock Bowers, who, by the way, looks pretty damn good developing chemistry with Gardner Minshew. Well, I'd say hasn't been too bad for the Raiders, and shout out to the Raiders for beating Baltimore. They play the Panthers this upcoming Sunday, so they should be 2-1 to start the season. I do like Antonio Pierce as their head coach. I'm not saying he's a great coach. I think he's going to get better as the season goes on. But the Chargers look like the real deal. I know I'm going to get a lot of hate from some Chiefs fans. I know Patrick Mahomes is the better player, the better quarterback, but Justin Herbert's special, man. I know he hasn't thrown over 300, 400 yards in a game, but he doesn't have to. He's got a great offensive line. He's got a great coach. He's got a great running game. J.K. Dobbins looks like the truth, man. He looks like a stud.
Yes, he does.
Hopefully he stays healthy. Their defense is really good. I forgot. Isn't it the same defensive coordinator Harbaugh brought in from Michigan?
That I don't know. I'm not big on college football, but
yeah, I mean that. Why aren't you big on college football?
I don't know, man. I just I don't know where I live. Like, well, I grew up in Ohio, so it was like Buckeyes, but and I don't know.
The Chargers beat the. You know what? They could, man. Look, Jim Harbaugh is a damn good coach. I mean, he coached Andrew Luck in Stanford, had a lot of success in Stanford, turned around the 49ers in 4 years. They made them into playoff contenders. They made them into Super Bowl contenders. Did a great job in Michigan. I know people don't like his personality, but you're there to judge him as a coach, which I can understand. Did a great job in Michigan, led them to a national title last year. Did a great job coaching J.J. McCarthy. And look what he's doing with Justin Herbert. I always believed in Justin Herbert. What held him back was Brandon Staley, who I thought was a horrible hire by the Chargers.
That's going to be a hell of I think it's going to be a smash mouth game, that one.
Which, Steelers and Chargers? Oh, hell yeah.
Dude, I said it last night, and I might have undersold it, but I said when we go and play the Steelers, they might be 4-2. Hell, you look at their schedule, they could be 5-1.
Who are the Chargers?
No, the Steelers. Their schedule's not that hard.
True, but I will say this. I think the Steelers and Chargers are going to be must-see TV.
Fair.
Because you got 2 good coaches, 2 talented quarterbacks. Herbert's a top 5. You damn right he's a top 5. He's special, man. Justin Herbert is special. He may be, of all the young, hey Carly, how are you? Of all the young quarterbacks in this league, he may be my favorite. That guy can throw with the football just as good as anybody.
It's a marathon. It's a marathon. Everybody wants to, I think, I don't know though. Is he going to be the next Phillip Rivers? You got to get
I
it
think
done
he's
in the
better than
playoffs.
Phillip Rivers. I think he's more talented. I'm not saying Phil. I understand people weren't crazy about Phillip Rivers because he was on so many talented Chargers teams and didn't win a championship compared to Eli Manning and Ben Roethlisberger. But Phillip Rivers was a solid player. I mean, he had a great year for the Colts in 2020. That I thought, to be brutally honest, I was surprised Phillip Rivers retired after 2020 because he looked good for the Colts in 2020.
You taking Herbert or you taking Burrow to start a brand new team?
Fuck, that's a good question. I love Joe Burrow. He wasn't the reason why the Bengals lost yesterday. I'm not gonna blame it all on the rest because the guy did show up early.
Who's that lovely lady?
You
gotta pick one.
But I have a Herbert signed jersey. I'm a huge fan of him. Hey man, there ain't nothing wrong with that. You can't look. I love the game of football. If you can't respect other players' greatness, you're not a real football fan. You're heading out?
No. Harlan is down there. Hey,
Harlan, what's up, buddy?
I think I go Burrow. But I'll probably get a lot of hate for that. Herbert's good too.
Bengals missed an extra point. Yeah, they did. I can't believe he missed it. He's a great kicker, Evan McPherson. But he's stuck in my head 24/7. But I think, was Justin Herbert a top 10 pick?
Maybe fringe. Man, you keep making my memory go into overdrive, man.
I think he was a top. I know Tua Tagovailoa was. I know Joe Burrow was number 1 back in
the COVID draft. He went 6th overall.
Yeah, he was 6th overall pick.
Mm-hmm. He's just got it's always like people have short memories. Herbert didn't have a great year last year, neither did Burrow. So both of them are down, but they could easily both be top 5 in the league. They just got to do it.
No, man. I mean, Joe Tippmann, I've always liked Joe Tippmann. I mean, I wanted John Michael Schmitz like so many Jet fans did, but Joe Tippmann's no scrub. I mean, he was the highest rated Wisconsin offensive lineman since Joe fucking Thomas. I felt so bad for Joe Thomas when he was on Cleveland. I'm like, this dude is showcasing greatness week in and week out, year in and year out, and the Browns do nothing to support him. If he was on this Browns team, forget about it. And I still say to this day that the Browns did Baker Mayfield dirty. Deshaun Watson, I know he got the win yesterday, but he has not looked great.
Nah. They have
top 5 in the league or Mahomes. I would actually put Burrow over Allen, but I get what you're saying, Lamar and Herbert, not in order. Okay. Forget about it.
Browns play the Giants in Cleveland. Who wins?
I got to say the Cleveland Browns because of their defense.
They're going to be 2-1 then. Not a bad looking.
See, Derek Carr looks good. People kept saying Derek Carr sucks. I've always said Derek Carr was a good quarterback. He has played great
last year. But this year?
He threw for over 3,000. He threw like 28 touchdowns to how many interceptions? He didn't play bad statistically last year. It was the team around him wasn't that good.
Let's see. Yeah. He had a 97 rating.
Derek Carr. I've always liked it. How many what was his he completed 65% of his passes. What was it? I'm sorry?
25 tutties and 8 picks.
That's not bad.
No.
Browns had Baker, but decided they wanted to pay a Bill Cosby type son bitch for $200 million instead. That's because the Browns are a bunch of dumbasses, man. What can I tell you, brother?
What do you think of Dak's deal?
I think Dak is a talented player, but I think, he needs to leave Dallas. I don't think the Cowboys will ever win another championship as long as Jerry Jones is the owner.
Well, he got as much guaranteed as Deshaun. Do you think it's a smart move for Dallas to give him all that?
Not necessarily. I mean, he's a talented player, plays well in the regular season, but a lot of times in the playoffs, he shrinks. And I know people gave Tony Romo, who is a broadcaster in the NFL, a lot of flack. It's not the team, it's the owner. That's the problem. Jerry Jones cares more about it. I know he has a great taste in talent, i.e., that's why he brought in Tyron Smith, who's on our Jets. He drafted DeMarco Murray, who had a pretty damn good career. He brought in Des Bryant. He brought in... No, he has a great eye for talent, but it's his fucking ego. I mean, still, who fires their coach, their Hall of Fame coach, after bringing him back from the dead, after winning 2 straight Super Bowls? If Jimmy Johnson was the head coach in 94, 95, they probably would have won 4 straight Super Bowls.
Mm-hmm.
No disrespect to the 49ers. They had a great team. But the Cowboys had the coach. Jimmy Johnson is one of the greatest coaches of all time.
Jerry Jones ought to fire his GM.
And that's himself. Refuses to admit weaknesses and doesn't make necessary. Fucking exactly. I don't hate the Cowboys. I hate Jerry Jones. There's a difference. Jerry Jones is the Cowboys. No, he's not. Not to me. Oh, is that Frosty? Or is that the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man?
I don't know. Oh, you know what? It's a snowman because it's for like slushies. But every time I use this cup, I think of Snowball.
Oh, Snowball, one of our YouTube friends. Good to know, man.
Yeah.
But
hey, bro, you're cooking. I'm gonna let you go and have your show back. But I do want to ask you, through 2 weeks, who one player on the whole team that you've been most surprised with? And who has let you down the most? You can only choose 1 and 1.
Good to know, man. I'll keep that in mind. But the guy. I still can't get over the fact I know he didn't fire Jimmy Johnson technically, but they parted ways. I'm like, you fucking idiot. He was the number one reason why the Cowboys were so good in the 90s. My dad loved Tom Landry. Tom Landry was a great coach and a good man. Very good, very humble man. And I forgot who the owner was of the Cowboys before Jerry Jones took over. But Tom Landry coached the fucking Cowboys for over 3 decades. And I think he's one of the greatest coaches of all time. If anyone, it's funny that Tom Landry and Vince Lombardi, 2 of the greatest head coaching figures and icons in NFL history, were assistant coaches on the Giants, right? Vince Lombardi was their offensive coordinator. Tom Landry was the defensive coordinator. And they ended up having a great career with their Packers, Washington, and the Cowboys. What do you think? How do you think? I think we match up pretty well. Obviously, the number one thing we got to do is not turn. I actually may talk about that when I get into those games, but I think we match up pretty well against the Steelers and Vikings. We got the offensive line, so we don't have to worry about that. We need to improve. We need to be more consistent in the running game. We need to be more decisive in the passing game. We need to get many of our targets involved. But, Aaron, look, Sam Darnold, I've always been a supporter of this guy. I'm not a truther, but I always believed he had the tendency to be a good quarterback. He just needed the right coaching and the right pieces around him. And so far, he's proven me right with the Vikings. Steelers, I love this. I have a lot of respect for the Steelers. The Steelers have a very good coaching staff. They have a good weapons. Pickens is good. and they have a great defense. They have a good special teams unit. To me, what gives us a slight edge over those two teams is our quarterback, Aaron Rodgers. He's had a lot of success against Minnesota over the years. He had success against Steelers over the years, especially in the Super Bowl. And he's known for being great against great defenses. Most of the time. But yeah. So, Carly, you're a Sammy truther. That's interesting. In prime time, am I going to... No, don't say you regret going. Look, Steeler fans are great fans. They're not as crazy as us Jet fans, Giant fans, and most of all, Eagle fans. Eagle fans are fucking insane. Eagle fans are fucking nuts. Eagle fans are fucking nuts. I mean, they boots and... Once a fucking year, comes to your house and fucking present for good. It gives you present once a fucking year with you. And you don't come show me. I'm still here, guys. I was just getting a bottle of water. TJ Watt, I think TJ Watt is an all-time great player. How many sacks does he have this year? Because the guy is just fucking insane. I mean, the guy's just fucking nuts. How many sacks does he have so far? He's got 2 sacks. He's 1.5 shy of 100. Guys, I got a bottle of water, okay? So don't worry about it. Look, if he touches Aaron Rodgers, he touches Aaron Rodgers. I mean, shit. I mean, look, the dude is a beast. Like his brother, JJ, who is going to be a Hall of Famer soon. He plays hard. He has a motor that doesn't stop. He continuously hustles. He never takes a play off, even when he seems like a non-factor. He never takes a fucking play off. And look, I think he's the all-time sack leader in Steelers history. The all-time sack leader in Steelers franchise history, which is pretty damn impressive, considering the insane amount of great pass rushers they've had over the years. From James Harrison to Mean Joe Green to L.C. Greenwood, Dwight Wright, Kevin Green, James. Did I say James Harrison? Yeah, James Harrison. Let's see. Trying to think. Trying to fucking think. LaMarr Woodley, Cameron Hayward, who's really damn good. Alex Highsmith's no scrub. They got a good freaking defense. Let's see where the Jets ranked defensively. I don't think they'll be top 10, but we'll see. I don't think they're in the bottom half of the league, but we'll see what the hell happens. Thank you, Dana. I'll keep that in mind. Anyway, come on, NFL Network, load the fuck up. Replay week 2. Um, I think we should pay Hassan. Period. Uh, I would hope so. Yankees won. Yeah, they did. Judge has 53, I think 54 home runs, I think. I think he will too. We're 3 games up on the Orioles. Hmm. Yeah, we're 3 games up on the O's. I know the Mets lost 2 out of 3 to the Phillies. Hopefully Lindor's not done for the year because I really like him. I think he should win the MVP, but I think they may give it to Otani, even though he's only hitting. I think they're giving it to Otani because of all bullshit surrounding him and everything. Thank you, Oscar. I appreciate that. Thank you. Um, hmm. Sorry. Has nothing on Judge. Well, we're talking about the National League MVP. Uh, Judge is in the American League. Otani left the Angels, which thank God he did because the Angels suck as a franchise. And he went to the Dodgers, who are trying to win another World Series, which the Dodgers are stacked. I think they have the best winning percentage in baseball, but I could be wrong. But Judge is amazing. Judge, as the best in the league. Oh yeah, he is. But for some reason, um, he's a great. He's a talented pitcher, but for some reason, every time he came to New York, he stunk. Whenever he came to play in New York, he stunk. Oh, Judge is a great ball player, and he's an even better person. I mean, he's a classy guy. He's humble, keeps himself well grounded. Stays true to his faith in Christian, and stays true to his Christian faith. He's a class act, Aaron Judge. He really is. I don't think he'll hit 60 homers again this year, but I think I think he's having an MVP caliber season. Juan Soto's having a tremendous season too. I never met Aaron Judge, but I know he's a good person. Based on the way, like, I never met Derek Jeter, but from what I've heard, he's a well-liked, classy individual, humble, keeps himself grounded, doesn't do anything stupid. Yeah, Judge is like a combo of Derek Jeter, Mariano Rivera. Yeah, he's a class. That's what I'm saying. Like, he's a hard person to not. He's a hard person to dislike. And I mean, Derek Jeter even earned respect of Red Sox fans because he was a classy guy. Even though he wasn't exactly the best player in baseball, he was a very good player. He was a reliable player. He was a competent player, and he was a classy guy. Didn't do anything to hurt his team. Didn't do anything to embarrass his team. And yes, I think he's a Hall of Famer. He definitely belongs in the Hall of Fame. Wasn't really. I don't know about that. I think the first touchdown he ever gave up was his rookie year against Cleveland, but I could be wrong about that too. But Sauce is a great corner. Holy autocorrect. Look, he still should have knocked the ball down. Yeah, but it is what it is. Look, I'm not going to sit there and say Sauce was washed up after one bad game. Well, he did get banged up somewhat a little bit against the 49ers when he made that great tackle against Deebo Samuel, who's a freaking beast. He's one guy hard. Bruised ego. Hey, Yeti, what's up, brother? Was a great. I'm not denying that it was a great catch. No, I think he did allow a touchdown. No, I'm not. What? I want to see more, but that's a good question. Maybe because how much he was used on Monday night versus. Besides Amari Cooper, who's really given Sauce in three seasons? Not many. Yeah, that's true. Hmm. Continuity. Boom. Your dresser looks very. I've had it for several years. It's an armoire, actually, not a dresser. You know what? Let's see. It's 3:15. Jake will be on in 45 minutes. You guys want to call in? Or you guys want to talk in the chat via the chat? All right, we'll talk a little bit more in the chat. Yeah, he did. Daniel Jones, I think, rebounded very well. Devin Singletary had a nice game. But, man, if I'm the Giants, I would feel like, well, they did lose their kicker. Hopefully not for the season. Well, I would say another wide receiver. I know people say Davante Adams. Listen, I think Davante Adams going to stay a Raider this year. I just have a feeling. Thoughts on Rich Eisen? Well, Rich Eisen is a talent. I love Rich Eisen. I think he's a good guy. I think he's a really good analyst. I don't think the Dolphins are going to win the East. I mean, their offensive line to me looks suspect. Nowhere near as good as our offensive line. So that's just my opinion.
Yeah.
You say edge. I think edge could be one, but I think we could also say wide receiver too. So we'll see how it is. And plus, Davante Adams, he's had a pretty damn good career with the Reds. I mean, last year, in his first year, he had Derek Carr most of the year. He had great chemistry with Derek Carr in college. Last year, he had between Aiden O'Connell and Jimmy Garoppolo, and he still put up pretty good numbers. And this year, he's put up pretty solid numbers with Gardner Minshew. Yeah, I know a lot of people don't like Tua Tagovailoa. I think he's a talented quarterback. He just needs to be more consistent. But, man, his durability is not very good. Part of me kind of feels bad for him. I think I'm going to end this stream, guys. It was great talking with you. I might do another stream sometime tonight. I'll think about it. Anyways, peace out.